I think of a 16-year-old white boy who is blonde, because they're usually blonde in my opinion. Someone who's like really mad all the time. Probably no one likes him, like girls don't like him, doesn't have any friends. Uh, Regarding race, I think of Caucasian male.
I would say that what immediately comes to mind is like middle-aged high school white Caucasian male, usually someone that was an outcast, sort of like to the sides.
School shooters being a high school age person who is been bullied or otherwise ostracized from his classmates. I do think of it as a male. Just angry at being an outcast and picked on, I guess.
School shooter looks like anyone with unresolved issues and access to a gun.
I personally believe that the people that go out and do these bad acts are pushed to do this because of their mental well-being, and they don't really have an understanding and a reasoning to why they do these things.
I feel like the root cause is a disparity between what they feel like their current experience should be and what their current reality actually is. So basically a lack of satisfaction.
I feel like for white culture, I feel like there's a lot of emotional suppression from what I've noticed, especially like in pop culture. From what I've seen, they're always told like, oh, you have to be a man, and I just feel like they never like grew up being in tune with their feelings, and then whenever they have some sort of crisis, especially like as a teenager, I feel like they don't know how to cope with their feelings, and so it gets so like confusing for them, and then they just have so much built up rage. And then it doesn't help that maybe their families are very like pro-gun, and so they'll have access to that. And then obviously in media there's violence everywhere. I feel like even now it's more apparent. From what I've seen, everything's just a lot more graphic and gory and just very like, maybe messy is the term.
Well, I think that a lot of people argue that just the simple fact that we don't have a huge restriction on our gun control laws is a big factor. However, I do think that it is deeper than that. I do think that our society reflects that of a negative outlook. We have a very competitive-based society where we are oftentimes under a lot of stress, anxiety, depression, etc. Those things can really lead to a lot of mental deterioration, where we see more instability in our brain function than normal. So I do think that the reflection of our society really does allude to the fact that we have a lot of violence.
I don't think school shootings can be 100% prevented because we never know what is going on in the mind of these people that do shootings. Before the shooting, any comment made on the internet, any comment that is made between friends, anybody that knows of someone taking a gun to school and flashing it around just for kicks should be taken 100% seriously. It should be reported. Principals, counselors should know about all this, and like I said, 100% serious.
No, not 100%. I don't think that school shootings could be 100% prevented. The reason is because we'll never really get to a sterile environment like an airport every day in school, unless there was TSA security at every high school and middle school and elementary school. But I don't think that that's the problem. I think that the problem is it comes with an awareness of kids that may have mental issues. It could be an awareness of kids that are constantly bullied kids that are loners.
I think they could have been prevented, but I feel like the issue goes back to teacher and student relationships and how the school handles their students. Because I feel a lot of the times something is causing that student to be so stressed, or just some situation is going on around this student that causes them to do horrible acts in that way. I'm not justifying their actions, but I'm saying that if teachers maybe start talking to students, or there's more counseling available, that stuff like this could be prevented. A lot of people jump right to gun control, and I do think gun control is important to make sure like right people have access to guns, but I also don't think that solves the problem. I think it's more trying to figure out why these students are committing these acts in the beginning, and I really do feel like schools need to try and create more encouraging environments for their students and for just classmates. Like a lot of the times people have found notebooks of students who have said they've done stuff like that. So I really do think it's the teacher and parent conversation.
I think school shootings could have been prevented if the staff/faculty would pay more attention to the kids who actually say they were getting bullied, or the kids who are more troubled than others, because most of the kids who have shot up of school have been bullied before and they just got fed up